I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to. Did you know that the Superman films have a parallel history to the Batman movies? Superman the movie was the first attempt to portray Superman in a serious light. The tagline was, "You will believe a man can fly," and that's exactly what director Richard Donner intended to do, convince an audience that the man they were seeing on screen could actually fly. But the price of this idea came too high for its producers, so Donner was booted off the franchise during Superman 2's production and replaced with Richard Lester. In Superman 3, more emphasis was put on comedy, and Richard Pryor was even brought in. And boy, did it suck balls, but not nearly as much as the cinematic abomination I have to view today. Welcome to Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, where we learn that wars aren't caused by differing ideologies, power-hungry dictators, or economic necessity. No, it's all because of nuclear weapons. Just nuclear weapons and the evil people who profit from them. And boy, am I not looking forward to this one bit! Oh, hi, Nostalgia Critic! Oh, I bet you're wondering what I'm doing here. Well, see, the thing is that I review comic books and you review movies, and I figured if I was going to review a comic book movie, yeah, I'll just quit right here.
Oh, no you don't! You start this dumbass review, we're gonna finish it! But first, get out of those clothes!
What the? How did you? Out! I'm going!
Good. So, let's go ahead and review... What are we reviewing again? Fuck donkeys! Alright, we open on the familiar credits of the Superman franchise. Except on a budget of $2. And sucky. The film is produced by renowned schlock factory Golan Globus, known for outright stealing money from investors to spread around to various movie projects instead of the one they were supposed to go to. Uwe Boll would be so proud.
The film begins proper with Russians.
In space!
How'd you do that with your voice?
Clean throat.
Huh.
My foot on doggy.
Well, this is fine enough. Nothing could possibly go wrong out here. See? This is what happens when you litter in space.
Because if you don't give a hoot, who will?
But fortunately, Superman is around to save them. By the way, folks, get used to this shot of Superman flying at the camera. Almost every flying scene has it.
Oh, and look! Despite the fact that they're in the vacuum of space, Superman's cape is flapping around like it's in a wind tunnel. Wait a minute, did he just talk? As in, talking in space?
Oh, yeah.
How deep are we in this movie?
4 minutes.
Too long!
In Soviet Russia, physics breaks you.
We move on to a scene where it looks like Clark Kent is selling the family farm, because apparently his mom croaked in between movies or something. I guess it's a good thing she resurrected herself in Superman Returns.
Timing!
He goes into the barn and finds the old spaceship that brought him to Earth and pulls out a glowing green crystal. Which he also got out of the ship in the first movie, didn't he?
You know, if you're gonna pick apart all the plot holes, we're gonna be here all day.
Point taken.
No, actually, this little crystal is meant to be our Deus Ex Machina for later.
Oh good! I can't wait to be pleasantly disappointed.
Since apparently the writers felt that the impending nuclear war wasn't a strong enough story, we have a series of subplots littered throughout the movie. Most of them go absolutely nowhere, a result of the fact that when the film was first released, more than 40 minutes were cut from it. Although, based on some of the information on the film that's been collected, they didn't go anywhere in the first cut either. So I guess their loss is our gain.
The first subplot is that the Daily Planet has been taken over by an evil Rupert Murdoch stand-in, which isn't really that far off from the real Rupert Murdoch.
Tedious. Don't tell me you only read the pictures.
What I have here are some mock copies of our new layout.
Isn't that headline irresponsible?
Maybe, but it'll sell a hell of a lot of newspapers.
Now make an unethical entertainment channel and a conservative news channel to point out what's wrong with it.
He appoints his daughter, Lacey, as the new publisher.
The Daily Planet hasn't made any money in 3 years.
And the name of the game is making money.
A mainstream news source more interested in making money above reasonable reporting? That's just unbelievable and unrealistic.
So it turns out Lacey immediately starts falling in love for Clark. For some reason. Gotta be the glasses. Oh yeah. But then, the President of the United States makes a chilling announcement.
And because the summit has failed, we have no choice but to strive to be second to none in the nuclear arms race.
But wait! Another subplot manages to sneak its way in. A teacher tries to console her elementary school students about this horrible brewing crisis.
Now, I know you're all upset by the crisis.
No, we're upset because they canceled Power Rangers.
I just hit puberty and now there's no Kimberly.
The best thing we can do is to try to think positively. Now, is there anything you can do? Doesn't anyone have a suggestion? All right. I'll make a suggestion.
I mean, isn't this just how you spent your classes back in the day? I mean, it's not like you did math or science or anything.
Jeremy, what do you think we can do about the crisis?
I tell you who I'd write a letter to that would do some good.
Motherfucker!
Superman.
Yes, this is what passes for a plot point in this movie. The kid writes a letter for Superman to be delivered via Lois Lane. She shows it to Clark Kent, and thus, somehow, this sends Superman into an existential dilemma about what he should do. He even goes to the Fortress of Solitude to consult the Elders of Krypton on this.
The Earth is too primitive. You can flee to new worlds.
No, I'm forbidden to interfere.
Not that stopped me in the last 3 movies.
If you teach the Earth to put its fate in any one man, even yourself, you're teaching them to be betrayed. 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 Betrayed.
Oh, did I forget to mention betrayed? Betrayed! But Clark Kent's continual moping about the issue doesn't end there, because now we have a scene of Clark and Lois meeting up and ripping off the first flying scene from the original movie. And I don't mean copy it, I mean note for note the friggin' same. But before we can get to that horseshit, they walk off the edge of Clark's patio. What, you've never been?
Clark? Clark?
I'd just like to kill you now, Lois. And now quite possibly the worst green screen effect you've ever seen in your entire life in 3, 2, 1! Wow, look at that background. It's like we got transported into the Flintstones.
Sometimes I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
And you'll do the right thing no matter what it is. You always have.
Oh, then they rip off the magic memory erasing kiss from the end of the second movie, too. Well, you've got to give the series credit for consistency. It's just as idiotic here as it was there.
So Superman makes his decision and goes to the United Nations building, which is now in Metropolis. Interesting relocation. Jeremy and Superman walk into the United Nations together. So I suppose this is as good a time as any to say goodbye to little Jeremy, since this is pretty much the last we'll ever see of him in this movie.
Goodbye!
Goodbye!
Goodbye, Jeremy!
So
Goodbye!
long!
I'm sorry you'll never act in another movie again!
Enjoy your mental scars!
Oh, God, it's this scene.
What? What's the matter?
Just watch.
For many years now, I've lived among you as a visitor. As of today, I'm not a visitor anymore. And I can't stand idly by and watch us stumble into the madness of possible nuclear destruction. And so I've come to a decision. Effective immediately, I'm going to rid our planet of all nuclear weapons.
Did Superman just say he's gonna rid the world of nuclear weapons by himself, whether the governments are unwilling to or not?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's okay with this?
They are, Critic. Which means that it's time to play international politics! Alright, Nostalgia Critic, you're Israel, a country surrounded on all sides by enemies who would happily see you wiped off the map. However, the only thing keeping them at bay is your nuclear arsenal. Now Superman comes in and says he's gonna take that arsenal away. What do you do?
Tell him to hump my ass?
Oh, I'm sorry, Critic. The correct answer was applaud wildly. Next question, and this one's for the game. You're the Soviet Union. You're engaged in a Cold War against the United States, and the fear of mutually assured destruction via nuclear weapons is the only thing that keeps you and the U.S. from engaging in combat with conventional weapons. Suddenly, Superman comes along and says he's gonna take away all your nuclear weapons. What do you do?
Oh, I know! Applaud wildly!
That is correct! You win the grand prize, Critic! You get to continue watching this crap!
Damn it!
Yes, folks, in this film, if you believe that the presence of nuclear weapons has actually prevented war rather than escalated it, this isn't your movie. So we get this montage of shots of both the United States and the Soviet Union launching their nuclear missiles into space, where Superman can catch them and hurl them into the sun.
So if they're willing to get rid of their nukes, why the hell do they need Superman in the first place?
Good PR.
Oh. But while that's going on, subplot number 5 says Lex Luthor just broke out of prison. Good God, his prison has more holes in it than Swiss cheese.
Oh, but let's ignore him for a second. We've got a real star in this movie, Critic. Why, it's John Cryer, who played the unforgettable role of Ducky from Pretty in Pink.
So appearing in this is a step down in his career.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty bad. He plays Luthor's nephew, Lenny Luthor. Ha ha.
This character is harmless enough, but of course he has to talk.
The dude of steel. Yeah, you're just an experiment, freako. What? Oh, no.
How long is this movie again?
Hour and a half.
So Lex Luthor, being Lex Luthor, has only one thing on his mind.
Destroy Superman!
Because that hobby has worked so well in the past. Couldn't you take up knitting?
So he steals a strand of Superman's hair from a museum.
Here you can see a 1,000-pound load easily suspended by his single hair.
That hair is a sample of Superman's genetic material. With my genius and enough nuclear power.